Hello guys, welcome to a video discussing and evaluating this mystery iceberg that I found on a paranormal subreddit. I've never seen this before. I got it off Reddit, and I really am looking forward to dissecting this with you today. So, make sure to follow Brickwall official channel on YouTube, like the video, and subscribe. And yeah, let's get into it without further ado. The year where nothing happened. This is a theory that says absolutely nothing happened in 2015. We all just sat there and it was like frozen in time for a year. No one did anything. Because think about it, can you remember what happened in 2015? I don't think so. Anyways, that's what that theory says. Staples dog fucking lawsuit is the next one. Now, Staples, as you know, is a store that sells office materials and supplies. And a manager at one of these Staples has recently come under fire for apparently being a dog fucker and using the profits from his job to staple dogs. And when the dogs are stapled, they can't get away, you know? Like, it's impossible for a dog to escape his grasp when they're stapled to a wall. If you feel my vibe, you know. Michael Jordan cloning laboratory. This is a common conspiracy theory that a lot of people know, which is probably why it's on the first level of this iceberg. But Michael Jordan actually, he started a laboratory where he was cloning his own army, and there's photograph evidence of it. I can't really find it for you right now, but Michael Jordan, he was running a secret operation to create a secret army of himself, and eventually, when this got found out by an independent journalist, he sort of tried to have the media cover it up, which is why it's a mystery, but a well-known mystery, because there's photographic evidence of it, you know. Anyways, G Fuel old people smell. G Fuel has a secret flavor on their website where if you input a certain code, you can buy the limited edition old people smell flavor. And I've tried this, guys, and I'm just saying it definitely nails it's definitely realistic for the G Fuel old people smell. Like, it does smell like old people, and it's kind of unnerving because, like, how did they pull it off this well? They didn't actually use old people to create this, right? Anyways, Twin Towers, Desert Island. Now, there's an island in the archipelago of Indonesia that has the actual Twin Towers from 9/11. Like, they were never blown up, they just got moved to this desert island, guys. And it's kind of insane to see how far this conspiracy goes, because if you think about it, how did they airdrop the Twin Towers onto this island without no one noticing? Like, what is our government doing? It's kind of freaky. Anyways, monkey with MBA. Now, this monkey from the Cincinnati Zoo has a Master of Business Administration degree, and it graduated from Harvard University, which is insane, and it communicates to its professors in sign language, and it's learning to read and write English. So it's kind of, you know, insane to think that a monkey is capable of all this, but he got a degree in monkey business, so maybe he performs better in that area than most humans can, you know? Anyways, the Chuck E. Cheese tattoo machine. Now, this was found in the basement of a Chuck E. Cheese in California, sort of in the San Diego metropolis area. There was this guy who was a worker at a Chuck E. Cheese. He went by Otis, and what he would do is he would lead kids into the basement and then strip them and tattoo Chucky on their body, forever branding them with this sacred, curse. And he eventually got busted, and he got fired. He didn't get in any trouble because there was no really there's no really parents that wanted to risk suing him, like coming forward and suing him, because this man had connections. He was connected to the mob, and if he was in legal trouble, then certainly the mob was going to, go after the family, which is not the best thing. Skyrim, NPC, LSD. Now, this is a common misconception where if you take too much acid or other psychedelics like shrooms, but it's mainly a misconception with LSD, where if you take too much of it, you will turn into a Skyrim NPC. Now, I'm addicted to LSD, and I don't think I've turned into a Skyrim NPC yet, so I don't think the validity of this one is very strong. Anyways, secret frog medallion. So, there's this medallion. Hold on, I can pull up a picture of it for you. This medallion. This was found in an Aztec pyramid by archaeologists when they were clearing out, and it appears to depict a frog. And what this does is, if the wearer suddenly, all he is able to say, like physically, when he puts the medallion on, is ribbit, ribbit. He is overcome with this psychotic urge to act like he's a frog. So, I don't know what the Aztecs are doing, but it's kind of freaky, dude. Anyways, the Miami Fat People Zoo. Now, if you have never been to Miami, or if you don't live in Florida, then you probably haven't heard of this, which is why it's on this iceberg. But once you visit Miami, you will know what this is. You'll most likely be visiting it either willingly or unwillingly. So, yeah. I'm not going to go into this one too much, because I'm sure that would be redundant for a lot of the Floridians in our audience, you know? The continent with all the funny people on it. Now, on Earth, there's this continent where everyone from that continent is actually really funny. And, yeah, okay. So that was it for this top layer of the iceberg. Now, we're going to move on to this second layer. Buddhist monk sexology. So what this theory says is that monks aren't celibate because they took some oath. They're celibate because Buddhism makes you literally have an allergic reaction to sex. Like, if you're Buddhist, if you're a monk and you have sex, you'll break out in hives and oh shit, sorry guys. I got the Rona. Anyways, yeah, if you're a monk and you have sex, you'll break out in hives. Now, this is mainly, this theory is mainly because the rate of hives and allergic reactions is much, much higher in the mountains of Tibet than it is anywhere else on Earth, which, kind of shows that they're getting it on over there, you know. Anyways, the cursed New York pizza. So, basically, if you're in New York and you go to this pizza place called Big Cappuccino Richie's and you eat there, the pizza is cursed. If you eat there, you'll have something really bad happen to you. There's this one customer who reported that after they eat at Big Cappuccino Richie's, they walked outside and a piano fell on their head. Another customer stated that after dining at this establishment, he was walking home in New York City and a giant boulder came and squished him, flattened him totally to the ground. So that's kind of wild, dude. Anyways, NBA disability origins. So when they were starting the what's it called, Paralympics, then back in the day, they labeled men playing basketball as a disability, which was obviously that's not a disability, but that's how the NBA got its start as a Paralympics organization. And as society became less racist and more progressive, they realized, actually, this isn't a disability. We're just being little freaks, you know? So, you know how it is with them Olympians. They always want to say something is a disability. Personally, I think that the people with no legs should compete in the normal disability Olympics because, they have robot ones, dude. They probably are better than your normal person. salmon poisoning operation. Now, this is a sensitive topic for me. I don't know if I want to get into this too much because someone I know actually was a victim of this, but there was this operation in the 1950s that poisoned all of the salmon in the continental United States, and it led to like 2,000, 3,000 deaths from people eating poisoned salmon. And today it's still not really known how this was operated or who was behind it, but they know that it was definitely the work of some group of people who were like pulling the salmon out of the river and injecting them with syringes full of like fucking uranium or some shit. I don't know. Okay, Wing Chun Pak Sung Bo Legends. So this shit is fucking awesome, dude. Like, you guys gotta play this. I'm not sure why it's on here because I think it's a pretty well-known game, but you should definitely buy it on Steam if you haven't already. Anyways, regional pedophile McDonald's. So, in the New England area of the United States, there are around 20 so establishments of McDonald's. They're like the regular McDonald's, but instead of just saying McDonald's, it says pedophile McDonald's on top. And if you go there, like, the staff like treats you like you're like a pedophile. And people who go into this McDonald's, they get put on an FBI list. And the thing is, most of them are at like gas station road stops. So sometimes hungry travelers will have no choice. Like, that would be the only option for them, even if they're not a pedophile. And it's a whole mess. I don't really want to get into like the legal things of it because I don't want to get in trouble with McDonald's, but it's kind of sketchy, you know. Operation Condor, dude, this is crazy. Operation Condor, basically, it was a United States-backed campaign of political repression and like state terror involving counterintelligence operations and assassination of opponents to the United States, and it was mostly in South America, the southern cone of South America particularly, where they would go in and implement like right-wing dictatorships because they didn't want governments in these countries to oppose U.S. interests. So the CIA would literally stage a covert operation in countries like Argentina or Bolivia or Paraguay or Uruguay, and they oh yeah, Brazil too, but they would stage coups and overthrow democratically elected, economically left-wing parties like socialist parties in South America. So this is like something that the U.S. should probably not do. Like, that's not very freedom, you know. But it was in like the 70s and the 80s, so I don't think it's going on still, guys. Like, they wouldn't do that. Anyways, holy city of tofu. Okay, so this is a city off the coast of the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, where it has basically its entire infrastructure is literally, I shit you not, made out of tofu. Like, they would take tofu and compress it, like harden it into bricks, and that's what they would build it out of. And vegans from all over the country like come to this as like a holy city, like they do a pilgrimage to it. You know, like how Muslims do it with Mecca. This is what vegans do, and they go here and worship like these great monuments made of tofu and these community gardens that grow the tofu. And this city is insane because it dates all the way back to like pre-European America, so way before colonization. Like, indigenous Americans literally like built this shit. So they were on the vegan stuff way before anyone else, which is actually kind of cool, you know. Jewish tigers in Antarctica. So there was this researcher who went to Antarctica and found like these snow tigers, and he was studying them, right? And he found out that they actually like practice Judaism. Like, they have like a mosque and everything that they go to. Oh wait, no, sorry, not a mosque, a synagogue. I got mixed up, guys. But like they wear the little like yarmulkes, and they have bar mitzvahs for like when the tigers turn 13. And it's actually like really cool. It's a really big diversity one because all of the tigers that we've seen so far are like Christian, and it's kind of lame, right? Because like, you know, they're all it's I mean, it's cooler if you have a little diversity. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, Larry David's supercomputer. So there's a theory, which I don't personally believe, but some people on the internet have some merit, think they have some merit to it. And what this theory says, basically, is like Larry David uploaded his subconscious into a supercomputer, and after he dies, like, the computer's gonna turn on, and it's gonna keep doing that Larry David shit that he does, you know? And personally, I don't think it's possible that Larry David, like, could do this. I don't think the technology has developed yet, but some people, you know, they say that Larry David, he's subtly hinted at it in public, like he's teasing the general public, and like hinting at him actually having done this, which is like really crazy, dude, because like, imagine if Larry David lives forever. Like, bro, that's wild. Anyways, the genes poltergeist. Now, this is a ghost that was sort of covered on this not so popular ghost show that I watch. So I know a lot, or not a lot, but I know more than most people about the genes poltergeist because it was covered on my favorite ghost hunting show, Legends of Old New Orleans, and basically Frankie Zapperton and Michael Benedict, they're the hosts of the show. Like, they went to this old rundown building of New Orleans, which, like, that's like what they do in the show. Like, it's all New Orleans themed with Mardi Gras shit, you know. This house was experiencing paranormal events, and it was caught on the motion detectors and the cameras that they set up, and they used like EMP to find that there's this pair of genes literally like walking around. Like, it's fucking crazy, dude. Like, holy shit, you know? How like, bro, oh my god. It's crazy to think that, like, poltergeist can just possess your genes. Like, imagine you were wearing that shit, and your legs just started moving outside of your control, like, of their own volition. That would be fucking wild. Okay, Jay-Z capitalism. Jay-Z is a capitalist. Yeah, okay, so, I think that covers this tier of the iceberg. Now it's time to move on to the first underwater tier. The 1912 chicken lung extractions. So, when Howard Taft, I think that's his name, I don't fucking know, the president named Taft, Andrew Taft? I don't fucking know, but when he was running for re-election in 1912 against Woodrow Wilson and Teddy Roosevelt and Eugene Debs, basically, he ordered the extraction of chicken lungs on most major agricultural farms throughout the Midwest during this time. And what he would do with the chicken lungs, he would blow them up like balloons, and he would basically, like, totally kind of like they would look fucked up. Like, he would use, oh shit, I hit my mic, sorry. He would use that shit as like decorations when he would have like rallies, political speeches, and he would decorate the White House with them too. And like, making balloons out of chicken lungs, it's not a normal thing. So the people kind of, like, they were freaked out and shit. And it said, like, that this was the main cause of him not winning the election. And it was because he fucking did this chicken lung thing. And people would go to the, like, Republican National Conventions and see all the chicken lungs, and they'd be like, this is fucking weird, dude. And they would be like, no. And so they would not vote for him because he would decorate his shit with chicken lungs. Illegal comedy black market. Basically, illegal comedy, you know it. It's that shit that it's so fucking esoteric and out there that if you post it on like a social media platform, or if you like make a joke as like a comedian in a stand-up set, like, you'll get fucking killed. Like, the CIA will actually assassinate you. It's like that illegal comedy. And the main proponent of this, a man named, God, I forgot his name, but he was some Swedish comedian, and he was the first, like, he invented this term, and basically, his, like, I guess, like, him talking about, like, illegal comedy and the issues facing, like, comedians that want to practice it kind of inspired this, like, dark web where, dark web social media platform where people only share this illegal comedy, and the CIA has been trying to crack down on it using, like DDoSing and like doxing people who use the site, but it's still like the membership count is still holding steady. Like I think it's like 30,000 a month that people like users on the site. So they're not doing a very good job cracking down on it. But some people don't think they should be cracking it down on it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, should this comedy be illegal? And if it should, then what could the CIA do to crack down on it more, you know? Sorry guys, sorry about that. I had to go cry because like I had to get some emotions out, but now I'm ready to talk about it. So I went to Slovenia, and while I was there for a layover flight, I was in the airport. I saw the most beautiful man ever, and I'm distraught because like I was only in Slovenia for a couple hours, so I didn't get the chance to talk to him. And so to avoid these situations, I would recommend going on either United or Southwest or Air Canada, both of them. Not all three of them have direct flights to from Serbia. Pope found dead in woods. So this is one of those where, like, a lot of people know it happened, but not many know why. So you've probably heard the story, does the Pope shit in the woods? Like as a saying. You've probably heard the saying, does the Pope shit in the woods? A common idiom in the English language. The thing is that that saying is based on truth. Like, he actually does shit in the woods, you know? And one of those times he was in the woods and he got eaten by a fucking bear and they found him. And like Pope Francis, he's been dead for a while, and the Vatican released a statement saying, like, we found the Pope in the woods, he was like eaten by a bear. But they don't know that's because of the idiom. Like, he shits in the woods. And when you're shitting, like, you're vulnerable. Like, you're squatting over, you're in a like weak position, you have your pants pulled down, you're exposing vulnerable areas of yourself. And the bear most likely was able to kill him so easily because he was in such a vulnerable position. Double dick surgery. This is one of the new advancements in medical achievement where I'm honestly amazed by it. Like, you can go and get a surgery where they put another dick, like it literally looks like a road that has a fork in it, like there's another head coming out of the shaft, and it's wild because like most guys who get it report like they come way harder, and they actually come 2 times at once. So I might recommend it. Like, I haven't tried it yet, but I'm not saying it's not on the table, you know. I'm just worried because like I don't want people to think I'm a freak. I don't want them to think I'm disfigured, you know. Anyways, Taliban restaurant. So in Kabul, Afghanistan, after the U.S. left, after they retreated, the Taliban took over the local McDonald's that George W. Bush had put there when they first invaded, and they turned it into a restaurant that served like traditional Arab cuisine, and they posted it on social media and it went viral and stuff. But not many people know that after it went viral, George W. Bush, he actually he self-harmed because they turned the McDonald's into a Taliban restaurant. Like, he was freaking out. People close to him report that he was screaming at the top of his lungs that it was a desecration of American values, and he eventually ended up cutting himself with a razor because he couldn't take it. And the Taliban found this out, and they decided to open more Taliban restaurants in neighboring Arab countries. They decided to open more Taliban restaurants there. So George W. Bush, he hasn't been doing too well lately. He's been put on suicide watch, and yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of him, but I'm not like wishing on his death or anything. Like, that would be disrespectful, dude. I hope he feels better, honestly. Antifa headquarters, astral projection. So this is in reference to a tweet Donald Trump made back in 2018, where, back when he still had Twitter, where it was sort of similar to the Kofefe thing, where no one knew what the fuck he was talking about, but like he tweeted like, I'm going to astral project myself into Antifa headquarters and learn their combat patterns, and people were like really confused, and he deleted this tweet within like 30 minutes because the White House staff was like, dude, like, you're fucking stupid, astral projection isn't real, which some people might debate, but he deleted this, and I'm kind of wondering if he ever actually, like, succeeded in astral projecting to Antifa headquarters. Like, he's the president, he has all the power in the world, he could probably put something together, you know. Anyways, this is the next one, Finland suicide toilet. So there's a suicide toilet in Oslo, Finland. No, Oslo's in Norway, sorry. No, I got it mixed up. Oslo is the capital of Norway, but there is a city in Finland that is also called Oslo, sort of like how, like, the U.S. has, like, random cities names like Paris or Madrid, you know? This suicide toilet it's like in an Arby's in Oslo, Finland, and, like, the Arby's has since been shut down because of, like, health concerns, like, because of the toilet. Like, there were too many people dying. So instead of replacing the toilet, which is what I've done, they just shut the whole building down, which I don't personally agree with, but, like, at least no more people are dying, you know. It's crazy because, like, people would use this toilet at the Arby's, and they would hang themselves, like, with every person who used the toilet. And not many people used the toilet at Arby's, so obviously it was like a sort of uncommon experience, but it was enough to get the restaurant shut down. And some people, such as myself, mind you, are wondering, maybe the food at the Arby's caused people to shit so bad that they couldn't take it and they just killed themselves. You know, that's what I think. But maybe that's not what it happened. You know. Anyways, that's it for the first underwater level. We'll go a little deeper. MK Ultra 2, Michigan. So there's this theory about Flint, Michigan, that what's going on, like, it's not lead in their water. It's actually, like, LSD. And the CIA is performing MK Ultra 2 there, and they're trying to research, like, mind control and shit. And some people think that since, like, the Obama administration, like, when people really found out about Flint, Michigan, like, the CIA moved to, like, places like Detroit, or even, like, the Michigan Upper Peninsula, and some people actually think it's the whole state, which I don't think that's likely, because the water quality, it has degraded in the Upper Peninsula and Detroit, roughly to the same level as it was at Flint, but not the whole state yet. So maybe it is their plan to do the entire state eventually, but I think the CIA only has operations at Flint, the Upper Michigan Peninsula, and Detroit right now. Dementia isn't real. Old people are just forgetful. This is a conspiracy theory because it's thought that, like, old people, like, they just forget things, and, like, when, like, deaths counted as Alzheimer's deaths are actually, like, there might be some foul play. There's no certainty that you can look at someone and, like, tell the difference between them having Alzheimer's and them just, like, being forgetful. Like, sure, the brain might deteriorate, but I think that might be normal. Like, when you get old, like, that just happens to your brain. Like, that's not a condition, you know? So dementia and Alzheimer's, I feel like they might be made up to, like, sell pills or, like, therapy or treatment to something that really is natural, and people shouldn't be combating, you know? Iowa cave monster. Hold on, guys. I have a photo of this. This shit is crazy, though. Look at this. Again, like, this is a drawing from one of the explorers. I think his name was Richard Bastman. But what happened to, like, him after he saw this creature? Like, this is a drawing he did of it. They turned over to the police, and the police were obviously like, oh, bro, you're fucking crazy. Like, they were investigating that shit. But the thing is, like, he actually went insane. Like, after a few months of seeing this creature, he just lost it. He wouldn't, he wouldn't, like, leave his house to go to work. He would just sit in his room all day and, like, repeat to himself, Iowa cave monster, Iowa cave monster. And I think, like, if it wasn't real, then why did he have such a psychotic episode? This drawing, it looks like the creature is pretty muscular, honestly, and its head is shaped sort of like a cornucopia almost, which is weird, but it really looks fucked up. Like, I would not want to go around this thing, dude. Okay, what's next? Epstein roller coaster. So there's this roller coaster at Elitch Gardens in Denver, Colorado, that is themed after Jeffrey Epstein. It's called Epstein's Wild Suicide Ride, and, like, it has, like, you go through a tunnel and shit, and sort of like those rides at Disneyland where they, like, have, like, characters on, like, like the TV screens and shit when you go through like a tunnel, they have like pictures of everyone listed in Epstein's black book, like when you're going through this tunnel, and it's really like, it's crazy how like you'd soak it in and you're like, damn dude, Bill Gates, oh damn dude, Donald Trump, oh damn dude, Elon Musk, like that was, I would definitely recommend next time you visit Colorado, if you ever visit, to go to this roller coaster, because it'll change the way you think about like your favorite celebrities, you know. Brick Wall, amazing deals. So Brick Wall, here we have amazing deals. You should go to our website. We sell wonderful products. We sell everything from food to prepackaged like ingredients to make food. We also sell building materials. We sell toys for kids. We sell albums. We recently got in stock this new vinyl for this band. Maybe you've heard of them. They're called Sex Hammers. They released their new album, The Third Weed Apparatus, and there's a new vinyl for it now. So I would recommend getting that, because I listened to the album. It's really good. And like Brick Wall, our website, we usually go on sale, you know. So you can get things for very cheap over there. When you need like art supplies, or like ammunition rounds, or you want to buy a book to educate yourself on like institutional racism or something, you can totally go to the Brick Wall website, and there's like a 90% chance that you'll get a really, really good discount, dude. So whoever made this iceberg, like, shout out to you, dude. Like, I forget your Reddit username, but I'll definitely go back and like contact you and say thank you for the placement right here. That's really awesome. Okay, Bridge of Sorrows. This one, guys, this gets a little dark. So in Newark, Delaware, there's this bridge across like the local river crossing that runs through the town, where like you go on the bridge and suddenly like everything that you've gone through in your life that you consider suffering like is played back to you in your head, and like it's fucking insane. I would not recommend going here. I'm certainly never gonna go to like check this out, just because if it is real, I wouldn't want that happening to me, you know. But there have been like increased reported cases of PTSD in this town, so like this conspiracy theory probably has some merit, you know. It might be real. It might not even be a theory. Dave Matthews Band. So Dave Matthews, you know him. He's pretty popular. If you don't know him and you're young, your parents probably know him, you know. But basically, what happened recently is he got banned off of like streaming platforms like iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, Deezer. But his music got removed, and no one is really sure why. They think it may be in relation to some comments that Dave made about the U.S. government, but like other bands that criticize the government haven't been removed. So I personally, I don't think that it's that. I think there's something else that we don't know that Dave maybe did, or people think he did. Like, I'm not trying to like make him out as guilty here, because like I'm sure he's a good dude, but yeah, it kind of sucks, because like now you can't listen to those sweet fucking tunes, man. He's still up on YouTube Music though, if you want to check him out. I would props to YouTube Music for not banning him, because that would really suck, you know. Listen to Dave Matthews Band on YouTube Music, guys. Harvey Weinstein, hyper-intelligent alien species. So this theory suggests that Harvey Weinstein is actually an alien that came down to Earth. Like, he's the member of a species, and like this alien species, everyone looks like Harvey Weinstein, and they're on like another plane of existence, and like so like he just like came down to Earth, and what he did was he decided to like make movies and stuff. And I guess maybe like that might explain like the allegations, because like maybe sexual harassment and pedophilia is like normalized in the alien culture, but I'm not excusing it. I'm just like questioning, like maybe there's a reason, you know. So peanut butter allergies are fake. Personally, I think this might be true, but like, because like, why in the world would like you fucking die from eating a fucking like little nut? Like, dude, grow up. What the fuck? You can't be serious right now. That's like baby shit. Like, you're just a picky eater, I think. So this is probably true. Like, the people who like say like, oh, I can't have that, I have a peanut butter allergy, I think like it's likely that they're just like picky eaters. They're just like nah, I don't wanna eat that. So it's possible that they're fake. I think it's pretty likely. But I think there is a chance that they're real. Like, if you have a peanut butter allergy in the audience, I'm not trying to alienate you or anything. I'm just saying, like, it's a little weird. Like, I don't think God would be like, okay, create this human who has, like, all these amazing characteristics, but they'll die if they eat some fucking, like, little, like, nut paste. That's weird. Okay, badass evil skeleton. Oh, guys, I know what they're talking about. I gotta show you this. This is fucking sick. Hold on. Let me pull up the image. Yeah, there we go, dude. Look at that shit. That shit is so cool. Oh my god. Hell yeah, dude. Hells yeah. That shit, oh, it even says badass on the gun. That's so fucking cool, dude. Hit like if you think this is fucking awesome. Okay, anyways. That's it for this tier of the iceberg. We're getting quite a bit. The next one is like going to be, it's almost like we're like halfway down, dude. Okay. The secret behind jaguars. Now, I think what this is referring to is that jaguars actually are bisexual, but I could be wrong. There could be a bigger secret, but that's what I think this might be. Like, I don't know a lot about jaguars, though. I would recommend researching into this on your own time and seeing, like, how like, they differ from maybe other wild cats, because there's probably something bigger. Like, I don't think it's just because they're bisexual, but if it is, like, I mean, I wouldn't understand why it's this low, because I think that's kind of like common knowledge, you know. Oh, okay, the Brooklyn pussy grabber. So this was a serial rapist who, like it's alleged like over like 50 women have came forward and like accused him of this, and he's quite a powerful like figure. Like most people like have probably, like, when they hear his name, they've probably heard of him, but like he's he was using like his wealth and influence to like sort of like hold power over women, and his victims, like the youngest one is like 13. So not only a serial rapist but also a pedophile. Kind of fucked up, man. He recently like there've been a ton of people throughout the country like starting this movement like defending him, which is kind of weird because like you don't really see people defending other powerful political figures when it's brought up that they have sexual assault allegations. It's kind of suspicious. I think he might be using like mind control or something to get these people to uncritically worship him. But you know, hats off to him, because the mind control is definitely working. Like, he won the 2006 election. So Einstein was autistic. This is actually like confirmed. Like, Einstein was on the spectrum. Like, he had high functioning autism. So another diversity win, guys. JFK killed himself. I'm not sure I agree with this theory. I think the CIA probably killed him, but this is an interesting theory. Like, it's certainly like not impossible if you think about it. Like, his head, like maybe he just like snapped his neck really fast, and people thought like he got shot. It's certainly possible. The next one on this tier of the iceberg is original sin loophole. Oh yeah, okay. So there's this thing in the Christian Bible, original sin, which states like everyone's born with sin, and you need to follow Christ in order to like get rid of the sin and get into heaven. But the thing is, they never specify like how bad the original sin is. Like, it could be like you just like forgot to go to church one week. So I'm personally not a Catholic, but I think like if I was, I would definitely like abuse this loophole, like, because if really in the eyes of God we all come out to be murderers, like when we're little babies, then there are going to be a ton of like tiny little babies in hell who died of like complications when the mother was giving birth. So that doesn't really make sense to me. Like, imagine going like down to like the 7th circle of hell, and it's like a real like nursery, like a daycare. That doesn't seem right. So original sin can't be too bad. It's probably like bad, but not bad enough that you go to hell. Like, only bad enough that you go to like purgatory or some shit. So I think people would definitely abuse this by like just like being like, oh, I don't know, I was sure, I forgot to like worship God, but like I didn't do anything too bad, so my original sin, like, it's not terrible. It's not like I murdered someone, you know. Oh, this one goes deep. This next one is kind of creepy. All right, I might have to give like a viewer discretion. Basically, like if you're not over the age of 18, I recommend you skip forward in the video, like until I'm done explaining this. But sexual irony, okay, this is fucked up. Sexual irony is the irony of something happening that is very different from what's expected. Like, for example, a fire station burning down, or someone posting, like, on fucking Instagram or Twitter, oh, I hate social media, or like a pilot being like, I'm so scared of heights. Like, that's fucked up, man. That's so like evil and shit. Like, that's like cursed. There's dark energy resonating from that. Like, maybe you're desensitized and you think that shit is normal, but like me, no, that shit's fucked up, dude. That's like fate of the universe type shit. Okay, 11-teen. This is like a deleted number that they had to get rid of because like it got too confusing, because like there wasn't it wasn't 12-teen. Like there was no 12-teen, and you'd think this would be 1-teen, but it was 11-teen, and so people were really like confused. They were like, "What? This number game makes no sense." So eventually they shortened it to 11. But yeah, there's some history for you. Bureau of Dog Burying. This is a government agency that was recently implemented under Joe Biden's administration. Basically, what he does, he has federal agents go, like whenever a police raid happens, like and SWAT goes into someone's house. If this person has a dog, usually they end up being buried alive, and this is one of the reasons his approval rating is so low. I think the American public probably should have realized that he was going to do this earlier during the 2020 presidential Democratic debates, when a dog walked on stage. And this was towards the end of the race, so it's just Bernie and Biden in the debate, you know. Bernie said, "Hi, doggy." Biden was like, "My psionic warriors, seal this boo-boo bear within the earth, I command you." And then they buried the dog under the stage on live television. And yet, the Democratic National Convention still, like, worked against Bernie, and, like, they sort of secured that Joe Biden would get the nomination. Even though it was like animal abuse on live television, and now this problem is so widespread that like it's like people from these like police are like coming like these police forces, these local like police forces and like SWAT and like the FBI, they're coming out and saying like burying dogs was fun at first, but like it's better to shoot them and cremate them. Which like obviously I think personally like you shouldn't be shooting dogs. Like maybe a hot take, I might offend some of you, like. I don't mean to do that, but like, come on, dude, like, seriously, what did the dog do? If you're like arresting someone, like you have a warrant to go in their house and arrest them for like, I don't know, like assault or like fraud, the dog didn't do that with them. Like, why are you killing their dog just as like an extra like psychological like advantage over them? That's weird. Like, but the police in America don't see the problem with killing the dogs. They see the problem with dog burying and land usage, and how like if we bury so many dogs, then eventually, like, it's going to make building new homes and building roads sort of, like, really annoying, because you're going to keep running into, like, dog bones when you're digging, shit up. Which, I mean, I get, but also, like, you know, like, the solution isn't to just shoot them and, like, let their body decompose above ground. Like, that just makes, like, there be bones, like, where you can see them normally. So, I don't side with the police on this, and I certainly don't side with Joe Biden. I think that he should definitely be impeached for this, because this is a like widespread like national campaign of animal abuse. All right, NBA YoungBoy assassination plot. So this one gets a little wild. The rapper NBA YoungBoy recently was like there was an assassination attempt on his life by this man named this man who was a descendant of like John Wilkes Booth, the dude who killed Abraham Lincoln. His name is, hold on, let me pull up his name, because I forgot. Oh, yeah, okay, Frederick Wilkes Booth. This dude, yeah, he tried to kill NBA YoungBoy with a, like, musket, and luckily, NBA YoungBoy survived, but, like, dude, that's crazy. Like, you can only think, like, the comparisons, like, is NBA YoungBoy our modern-day Abraham Lincoln? You know, it's crazy. And I'm glad he didn't die from a musket. I'm not sure if he's like I'm not sure if he's like going to testify in court against Frederick Wilkes Booth, but I think like there's almost like a 100% certainty that Frederick Wilkes Booth gets like at least 20 years in prison for this. Like, that's insane, dude. Simulated food. It's food that is simulated, basically. Ugly white boy disease. This is a disease found in sub-Saharan Europe, which it basically just makes you look fucked up and weird and shit. And it's kind of been spreading to other nations with a majority white population, like Canada and Australia and America. And maybe this is our revenge for colonizing the world and oppressing other racial groups. I don't know. Maybe this is God telling us that we fucked up. But I have recently gotten vaccinated for ugly white boy disease, so even if I get it, it won't be too bad. And I think that there's probably, although I think there are better ways of enacting justice, such as reparations and land back and complete decolonization, of quote-unquote territories, basically modern-day colonies like Puerto Rico, or overseas dominions those fucking islands that Britain and France randomly have, or the cities in Morocco that Spain owns, stuff like that. I think should probably be made either independent or in the case of those little cities in Morocco, just give them to Morocco, dude. But that would be my preferred solution. But I know God, everything happens for a reason. He probably has a plan. And in a couple generations, we'll probably reach racial equality, because people will be oh, if you're racist, you'll get ugly white boy disease. So, yeah, I think while it might be a little harmful towards the health of people who, while not responsible, are ancestors and benefit from racist systems, I think that in time, ugly white boy disease will become smallpox or the bubonic plague, where it was bad and we know, oh, don't do that again, you know? So next is woman death frequency. This is a phenomenon found in 65-year-old women or older, senior age women, where if they're exposed to a sharp frequency of 486 hertz, then they will just fucking die. They'll die. Straight up, dead. And it's kind of crazy. Wow. Women death, I don't know why it's not prevalent in men as well. Does the female brain have something different about it to make it sensitive to this particular frequency? And also, what dangers does this pose towards the elderly population? Are scientists going to find a old man death frequency? It's kind of scary if you think about it. And there have been a lot of already deaths attributed to this, even though it's a recent invention, because people online are make screamer vids with this frequency, and the screamer vids have attributed to almost 350 deaths so far worldwide, which could be a bigger problem if this somehow gets on national television. But for the time being, I think scientists are working to sort of quarantine it. Cat with no ears. Hold on, I gotta show you guys this. This shit is crazy. Hold on. Here we go. Look at this shit. That shit's wild, dude. That shit's... Wow. That's just crazy. Okay. That's it for the 5th level. Now we got the very bottom of the iceberg. We're getting close to the end, dude. American Airlines gamer seats. This is a discontinued first class option that they had, where there was an RGB gaming setup and the fucking PewDiePie gamer chairs on the flights, but it ended up causing injuries, because since the chairs are they roll around, right? Whenever someone whenever someone was sitting in it and the plane experienced turbulence, they would get minor concussions and other injuries, because they would be rolling around and shit, and often would fall over and fucking get hurt. Okay, Clinkus Maxwell disappearance. So Clinkus Maxwell, it was a 35-year-old man who was living in New Jersey, sort of southern New Jersey, and he sort of was okay, so what he was doing, he was buying something at the gas station, and this is the last known footage of him, where he went up to the gas station, he got gas, he walked into the store, the gas station store, and you see on the CCTV cams him coming back out with a bag of chips and calling someone on his phone, and then after he he appears to get mad, And after he hangs up the phone, he gets in his car and he drives off towards like the woods, and hasn't been seen since. Like, we'll get into like the follow-ups to this case later, but they thought it was a cold case for many years, and it was like a freaky thing. Like, it happened in like back in the 80s, and it was only solved like a couple of years ago, you know, which is insane for how long cases can remain cold. Lions are gay. Yeah. So yeah, this one's kind of like not very like well known, but it's interesting, I think, and it's kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie, like that's pretty cool. Good job. Another diversity win. CIA penis apparatus. Okay, during the 70s and 60s. Oh boy, this is around the time where the CIA was doing those experiments with like astral projection and artificial intelligence and telepathy, and it was in Missouri. They were like in a small town. It was called like Gregana, Missouri. Not Mississippi, Missouri, I think. Gregana, Missouri, where the local population, like, they would be abducted by federal agents and taken down to this underground laboratory, and they would have like this like device installed in their penis, which would make it like it was sort of like permanent Viagra, you know, like you would never be soft if you were wearing this. And what happened with this was like if you were circumcised, then it would end up like digging into your penis and cutting off the tip. And the CIA declassified documents studying like how the foreskin has like sort of material almost like Kevlar, and how it's able to withstand like the sharp metal that was like implemented, whereas people who did not have foreskin were like, they would get cuts and eventually their tip would fall off, and even though their tip would fall off, they would still be able to like come and pee through the stump, which was really weird. But the CIA was like doing some wild shit back then. Baton Rouge lake creature. Okay, so this one's gonna blow your mind. You just have to see this. This is something you have to look at. Look at this real photo that was taken in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, of this fucking like walrus thing. It looks like a walrus but with one really long tusk to me. I don't know if that's actually what it is. Maybe it's like evolved from some other animal, but my theory is they evolved from a walrus. And maybe it's like this way because of like pollution or radiation or something, or maybe this is like an actual species, like a cryptid species. But either way, like, this is the only known photo of it, and people have been trying to search for it ever since. And the problem with it being in Baton Rouge is that that's right next to the Gulf of Mexico, so it could have escaped from this lake and ran into like the ocean, and then we would have a lot harder time finding it because like it's no longer confined to like this area, which that would suck. Hopefully we find more like evidence of this, or there are more pictures that surface. Maybe we'll need to do some more investigations at the Gulf of Mexico to see like if we can search for this creature, and if we can, then I think it's gonna be cool, because the dude who took this photograph said that it wasn't aggressive. It just like stood there, and once he took the photo of it, it sort of like fleed under the water, and I think that sucks, because if he didn't like have his flash on, then we'd probably have more pictures of it. But he had his fucking like his camera set to like do the flash thing, so kind of like a major fuck up there, but whatever. Twin Towers, Easter Island. Okay, so you know those. This is a thing where it's another crazy theory that the Twin Towers were not built by like a New York architect. They were originally from the Easter Island. You know, all those like all those Moai statues, like they come from the Easter Island. Like those Easter Island heads, like the giant like people heads that like the Polynesians built like a couple like I don't know, probably centuries ago. The Twin Towers were like on that island originally. Like they were built by ancient Polynesians, and the U.S. like found them on the island and took them and put them in New York. I think this is probably likely. Like it's not confirmed, but I think it's definitely like it's definitely possible, and it's probably likely. Looking at the infrastructure and the like architecture on the Twin Towers, it's sort of reminiscent of Easter Island. Sorry guys, I'm eating. Greg Abbott is artificial intelligence. This theory states that Greg Abbott, the politician from Texas, he's an artificial intelligence that was trained off of Kiwi Farms posts and right-wing Twitter accounts. And so he's not an actual human. He's sort of just like a collective, like, oh, I got hair in my tongue. And so he's not an actual human, guys. He's like a personification of, he's not an actual human, guys. He's like a personification of stupid people's transphobia. Like, that's really all he is. He doesn't have, like, actual thoughts or feelings. He's, like, just drawing data from, like, hateful bigots online, which is kind of crazy to think about. And there's nothing in the Constitution that says artificial intelligence can't be a senator, so I guess it's not against the law, but, like, if artificial intelligence is going to be a senator, then why does it have to be, like, bigoted, you know? I'm just saying. O.J. Simpson teleportation. Okay, this one's an interesting one, guys. So, you know that high-speed car chase, famous one, of O.J. Simpson being chased by the cops down the highway? This theory says he actually has the power to teleport, and so that had to be a stunt double in the car, and a stunt double that got arrested, and he never actually served time in prison, which, like, he never got arrested, which is, like, very interesting, and maybe this theory has some merit to it. I think it's a little out there, though. Yeah, I'm not really sure if this one is real. I try to look at things with a critical eye, and I don't really buy this one personally. Okay, drywall ingredients. This is here because the ingredients in drywall, no one really knows what it is, and people have, like, tested it in labs, and it seems to be, like, made of some element that isn't on the periodic table, and, like, actually kind of defies what we know about chemistry and, like, physics and, like, science in general. Kind of fucked up, right? And this thing is in our houses. I think it's a little scary, and I'm considering actually taking down the drywall in my house and replacing it with, like, wooden, like, walls, like log cabin type of shit. That's the shit I'm trying to be on, because, like, I don't know, like, mystery element in my house, dude. That's fucking crazy. It might, like, be the, like, #1 cause of cancer, and we might not know. Polish basketball. Some say if you have basketball in Poland, then it's Polish basketball. Make sure to tell your mom this. Comment, I love Polish basketball, in the comments below. Follow and retweet for a free Amazon gift card. Make sure to subscribe for more content like this. So now we're going into the depths. This is the fourth lowest. The fourth from... Okay, now we're going to the depths. This is beyond the iceberg. This is when shit gets actually really fucked up, and it gets scary. So, for the faint of heart, I suggest viewer discretion is advised. Anyways, yeah, now we're on the seventh layer, the fourth layer from the bottom. Well, Marx's theory of labor value. Okay, guys, the Marxist theory of labor value. This one's gonna blow your mind. This one's fucking crazy. In the 17th century, Karl Marx argued that the economic value of a good or service is determined by the total amount of socially necessary labor required to produce it. That's kind of crazy. The price of a commodity dictated by the amount of work that was required to produce it. That is central to Marxist theory, guys. It holds that the working class is exploited under capitalism and disassociates price and value. That's fucking crazy. That's wild. It basically says that the value of commodity increases due to the proportion, duration, and intensity of labor performed on average for the production. That's fucking crazy. Consider, for example, a barista who grinds up coffee beans, puts some in the machine, and turns it into a cup of coffee, and adds, like, the whipped cream and whatnot. That worker has added value to the coffee by manufacturing it into something that can be consumed, and so the value of the coffee beans goes up because of that. However, under our current capitalist system, prices are determined by supply and demand, and the amount of money that a worker receives does not directly correlate to the amount of value they produced for the company, but simply the lowest possible wage that a capitalist can afford to pay them in order to keep profit increasing. Now, some may argue that, this may change, like, they may pay their workers, now the amount of the wage that the worker receives may be, higher than the wage the worker receives for their labor under the capitalist system may increase due to societal pressures, economic regulation, or now the amount of wage a worker receives from the boss may change due to societal pressures, unionization, or now the amount of wage a worker receives in a capitalist system may increase due to societal pressures, government policy, or perhaps a quote-unquote generous capitalist, but it still is not directly proportional to the amount of value that a worker creates, and the money that is pocketed by the money that baby born with 16 heads. You gotta search this up for yourself. If I show you this on YouTube, I'll get taken down, guys. So, if you're eating while watching this, wait until you finish eating before searching this up, because you might throw up. I'm just saying, try with middle-aged men that only buy what you're selling if the box has a topless Native American woman on it. Now, they used to be more prevalent a couple years ago, but these guys are almost extinct because ever since they removed that one American lady from that butter, they haven't really had anything to eat, and they've kind of been starving and going extinct. So maybe in due time this will simply be like the stuff of legend. But right now, I think this tribe is on the critically endangered species list. Really shows you how woke culture has sort of destroyed people's lives, because these guys don't have anything to eat now. That kind of sucks, dude. Uterus apocalypse is something from uterus apocalypse. Now this is a prophecy from the Old Testament that says that eventually every woman with a uterus will end up just not wanting to have sex. They'll just be like, no, I'm not having sex with you right now. And so basically they'll end the human race, dude, unless some guys with uteruses want to step up and save us, but they're not, but we need to increase the number of guys with uteruses if we want that to be sustainable, you know? So the future kind of looks grim right now, but I think there is some hope in the fact that the Bible scripture only says have sex. It doesn't say impregnate, so possibly something with sperm banks would work. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Jumping fish. Now, okay, guys, you're gonna want to see this. I'm just being honest. This is kind of crazy. Look at this. That fish is totally fucking jumping, dude. And look at all the kitty cats. Holy shit. I definitely recommend checking this out. Research jumping fish. Educate yourself on the issues that matter, because this shit is wild. Most people don't even know about this, and it needs to be mainstream discourse, you know. So that was jumping fish. Moving on. It looks like we have Stephen Hawking alive in Cuba. Now, personally, I don't see this being possible, because he's paralyzed. Out of all people to fake their death. How? How would he do that? Guys, the only possibility I see is if he was faking that disease the whole time. And if he was, then personally, I think he deserves to fake his death. Good job, man. Props to you. That's kind of fucking crazy. The above-ground pool murders of 2017. Now, this is where, the above-ground pool murders of 2017. Now, younger viewers may not remember this too well, but I certainly do. As a millennial, I remember going home and seeing on the news that everyone on October 23rd, 2017, everyone across the state of Florida who was at a pool between the hours of 6 a.m. and 8 p.m. just fucking died. Their wrists were slit. Their throat was cut open. Shit like that. That was a mass scale, murder. Maybe carried out by, a group of people, because so many people, hundreds of people died within, the span of a day. And honestly, I think, it could be a cult, the work of, an organization that believed that this was, their duty to do. This is, proof that, the George W. Bush administration era was fucking wild, bro. green blood cells. So you know about white blood cells and red blood cells, but during Christmas and the holiday season in general, you'll get green blood cells because your body knows, like, oh, dude, happy holidays. So that shit gets festive up in your bloodstream, you know? We got one more. One more here. 7-legged horny cougar mutation. This was found by a farmer in Alaska. He posted pictures on Facebook of this cougar they shot on his property who was trying to fuck his sheep, and it had 7 legs. That shit's wild, dude. That shit's crazy. Man. Okay. Next, this is the next tier. We're getting closer to the end, dude. I hate homeless veterans business cards. So these business cards, you may have seen them before. People in urban areas of the United States, like people in suits, if you see a person in a suit on like a subway, on public transportation, and they hand you a business card, 100% chance it's going to say, I hate homeless veterans. There's no way it says anything else, dude. And the thing is, bro, homeless veterans didn't do nothing, man. Like, why? That shit is fucked up, man. Okay, moving on. I do not want to talk about this. Moving on, we got the New Zealand vampire problem. So, New Zealand is not the place you think of when you think vampires. You think regions of Romania and Moldova, Eastern Europe in general. You do not think New Zealand, but they are there, dude. Ever since they filmed the Twilight movies there have been actual vampires who, like, kill people over there, man. That shit is crazy. This is the consequences of filming the Twilight movies, man. That shit never happened. Negative numbers. This shit will be... I'm gonna have trouble explaining this because it's so fucking crazy. But this shit will make you think about the world differently. This is fucking, like... This is insane. This is so, like, deep. And the thing is, like, barely anyone knows, dude, that there are negative numbers. Like, the big science executives haven't confirmed this, but there's evidence out there, dude. There are numbers below 0. It goes like, you know how there's, it goes 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and then it goes -1, -2, -3, -4. And basically it's like the complete opposite of that. And it goes on forever. For every positive number, there's a -1. And if you add a positive and negative number together, you get 0. Because 0 is like the only number that's like, it's like directly in the middle, dude. That shit's crazy. So if you have nothing, just remember that you could have negative of that thing. So be grateful that it's not worse for you. Like if you have no house, you could have a negative house. And you wouldn't want that. Deep sea anal probe. You know, I'm gonna get horny if I discuss this. So I'm going to skip over this one. I hope you guys don't mind. If you want to research this on your own time, then I recommend watching National Geographic because they have some amazing videos about this. Anti-Italian discrimination. This is sort of like the Area 51 of racism, dude. Like, no one knows if there's something, like, actually serious behind it or not. All they know is that, like, it's there. And it's weird, because it's in Nevada, dude. Like, fuck, man. Twin Towers, Epstein Island. Now, there's been a lot of stuff with Twin Towers on islands, and you might think that's crazy, but think about it. Manhattan was an island. It only makes sense that if the Twin Towers were never destroyed, they would go to other islands, which is where Jeffrey Epstein comes in. And he bought the Twin Towers from the desert island in the Indonesian archipelago. And since his death, they've still been there. He used to fuck kids in the Twin Towers. I'm starting to think that they might move to another island now that he's dead. But that's just a theory, man. Las Vegas underground Semen tunnels. Now, I'm going to show an image of this. And I'm going to warn you, because there is dried cum on the walls. Look at that, dude. Only a psychopath would engineer this. And the thing is, this is the city of sin, dude. Las Vegas. You can only imagine what goes on down here. There are other photographs, but there's never been, like, documentation of, like, how the cum gets here. It's sort of, like, eerie in a way that there are people under the city, and they may be coming, like, any time, and you wouldn't know, man. That's fucked up. Okay, that's the end of this tier. Now it's the second to last. I'm not actually addicted to cigarettes. Now, most people on the surface assume I am, but, dude, come on, man. Like, there is no way. Like, I can quit anytime I want, you know? I just like the smell, and I like the way it makes me feel, so I'm not gonna stop, but I could if I wanted to, you know? Like, it's not, like, hurting me. It's not detrimental to my health. People would be like, oh, you're going to get lung cancer. Okay. Even if I do get lung cancer, which I won't, I could just be Walter White, you know? Like, you're fucking stupid if you think I'm addicted to cigarettes, because I'm not. And, by the way, cigarettes are actually more healthy than weed. So, yeah, just think about that. If they were deadly, why would they be legal, you know? The true purpose of the appendix. Okay, so basically, the appendix is thought of as an organ with really no usage, but actually it does have a usage. It has a spiritual purpose. The appendix protects your body from demons, and people who get appendicitis will tend to be possessed more often. You can look at the U.S. Census Bureau's statistics on possession. People who have gotten appendicitis and had to get it removed have 3 times the amount of possession, because they're more vulnerable to demons, and they're more vulnerable to people reaching into their minds and fucking them up, dude. So, next time you say the appendix is useless, just remember that. If it weren't for the appendix, you would be all exorcism in this bitch. Enlightened cactus. So, this one, it's sort of a, this one, okay, so this one, I don't live in Libya, so I can't really say, like, that this is 100% accurate, but apparently, towards the southern end of Libya, where the Sahara Desert starts, there's this temple with an enlightened cactus that can foretell the future, and people go there, and they get their future read to them, and the enlightened cactus will suggest them the best course of action, and this is why Libya is soon to become one of the best nations in Africa. It's soon to become one of the most powerful because of this enlightened cactus. You know, I haven't been to Libya myself, so I can't go into more detail about what it is, like how it works, but shit, I might visit just so I can get my fortune read, you know? Clinkus Maxwell Resurrection. Dude, this shit is fire. Okay, so, as you recall earlier, Clinkus Maxwell disappeared at a gas station. And it took over 20 years for them to find evidence of where he went. And apparently, he was dead, but he just came back? Like, what? He's back? And he won't stop talking about this evil crystal? I don't know what's going on with that, but maybe it's proof that resurrection could be possible and we could live forever. I don't know what's going on with that. But Clinkus Maxwell is on some different type of shit, dude. Death sermons. In Catholic churches in the Bible Belt, especially Mississippi, there are these death sermons where the pastor will be like, where the pastor will read a forbidden psalm, and everyone who hears it will immediately fucking die, and the pastor will die too. And this phenomenon has been attributed to mass hysteria, cult suicide, but I think it's real. I think if you read that passage, then you might be, like, actually, like, God might just kill you. And I think it's kind of wild because, like, there's probably a pastor that, like, didn't know and read it and he accidentally killed everyone. But I'm willing to bet that most of them know what the verse does because they're, like, the people that know their shit on Catholic and God and stuff. So, yeah, dude, the first shark to attend church. Sort of on a similar note, this shark was also in Mississippi, and it didn't get hit with the death sentence, thank God, because it was fucking crazy. But, like, this nurse shark, like, walked up in that bitch and, like, literally, like, did communion and everything. And I think that it's kind of crazy. Like, if any shark's going into heaven, it's definitely that one, you know? That's crazy, dude. The 27th letter. What? There's a 27th letter? What the fuck? I'm not gonna lie. This radiates power, and I do not want to look into this. I am sorry. Even if I did know what he was talking about, I would not explain it to you out of fear of my health. Bigfoot. Dude. Okay. No one knows about this shit. But look at that, man. There's a Sasquatch right there. I think this image, like, it's been spread around in, like, cryptozoology circles, but it's never been mainstream. Your average person does not know about this. And if they did, it would blow their mind because, like, look at that motherfucker. That's crazy, dude. He's just, like, plug walking. Damn. Anyways, shout out to Bigfoot, dude. Holy shit. The golden age of vasectomies. Actually, I don't think there is a set golden age. I think this kind of is up to opinion. I know the common opinion is probably during the Renaissance era, that was a golden age. But I think like early Roman Empire, like late Roman Republic, around the time of the Caesar, around the time of like the Caesar leaderships, like they had it figured out. And then when the Dark Ages came along, we lost that. We lost the idea of a perfect vasectomy. And sure, people might not disagree. People may think, no, it's obviously the Renaissance era. But dude, like, think about it. Roman society, like, they had like fucking Roman society literally had like sewers and shit. Like Roman society was so much more advanced than the Dark Ages, and we lost so much progress during the Dark Ages that like the burning of like texts that in the Roman libraries, those texts probably held the answer to the perfect vasectomy. And I think a couple historians agree with me on this, but popular opinion is that it's the Renaissance era, which, I mean, the Renaissance era was good. It wasn't the golden age. I would call it an era of prosperity, but like the best age, dude, like from all of the evidence we had, the early Roman Republic era was so much better, dude. And okay, the fog origin point. I gotta show you guys this. This shit is wild. You're never gonna believe this. So, you guys know the fog, right? The all-encompassing fog expanding over the world, and it's sort of like a paranormal force. Scientists finally found the origin of it. You will not believe what I'm about to show you. Look at that shit. Fucking horrifying, dude. This is where it came from. This is what the fog, like, was seeping out of. This is the cause of all of the suffering in the past decade. Like, the national state of emergency declared over the fog. Everything. That was because of this motherfucker. Man, I can't believe it. Okay, now, the next one on the last tier, the forbidden molecules. So, there are some molecules that just cannot exist, because if they did, like, they're fucking, like, protons and, like, electrons and shit, they would just, like, not work correctly. They would sort of combine into a fourth thing. Like, you have protons, neutrons, and electrons, and a forbidden molecule would combine the protons and electrons into and it would become something known as a crouton, and it would become something known as a crouton. And this is insane to me because, like, it's not like a neutron where it has a neutral charge. It would have both a positive and a negative charge at the same time, like quantum superposition. And it would probably break reality if this existed. So scientists think it's physically impossible. Like, there's no universe or timeline where this could exist. Because if it did, then it would fuck shit up. Thy angel of death cometh. Okay guys, so basically what this one is the bells are ringing, and I don't have much time left. Okay guys, basically, so what this one is, the bells are ringing loudly, and they signify his arrival. And the angel of death will take me, and I will not struggle when he takes me, because I know that my time is almost up, and I have made peace with this fact. So, I personally know that angel of death cometh, but other people, I don't think so, which explains why this is on the very bottom. Most people don't know that the angel of death arrives at sunset, riding a black horse, outstends its skeleton hand to you, and asks for you to join it in the afterlife. Like, that shit, no one knows. Like, I'm the only person who knows about that shit. The sun will explode in 5 billion years. I'm sorry, guys, if you, like, I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this, but the sun, like, that shit's going to eventually, like, die. And that's kind of scary. Like, dude, how is this not more common knowledge? Like, I don't think anyone knows about this shit. And it's scary because, like, in 5 billion years, like, there's not going to be an Earth anymore because we're going to be absorbed by the sun and explode. And honestly, I think that it's not, it sucks that it has to explode. Like, not gonna lie, that shit is not cool. 5-dimensional breathing. Okay, you've heard of 1-dimensional breathing, you've heard of 2-dimensional breathing, you've heard of 3-dimensional breathing, that's the shit you're doing right now. And you've heard of 4-dimensional breathing because that's the shit Einstein covered in his theory of relativity. But 5-dimensional breathing, that shit, like, it's only theorized to exist by some people. And if it does, it would blow the lid off of this whole breathing thing. If the 5-dimensional breathing thing did exist, it would blow the lid off this whole breathing thing. So yeah, this was the iceberg that I found on a random subreddit with only 200 subscribers. And I hope you enjoyed my coverage of this. I think it was very beneficial to both of us, and I'm glad I could teach you about some of these things. But don't forget to subscribe to Brick Well, guys. Okay, bye.